What up? This is Zach, and there is nothing more frustrating than creating a character and doing all this work and then your character not working. So I've decided to make this series where we talk about the base classes in D&D and how they work as a whole. So I'm just going to break down a couple of different things with each class that is in the base class, no subclasses or anything, and talk about how to make them work as a whole. So hopefully we don't have to wonder why our games aren't being fun and we just know how to do it. So hopefully we can make this a little bit easier for everyone and we can have fun games in D&D. All right, let's talk about the monk. The monk is super fun to play if you know how to do it. So as always, we are going to do this with the monk inside of combat and the monk outside of combat. Alright, the monk inside of combat. First off, the monk has martial arts, which allows them to use unarmed strikes and monk weapons. Monk weapons are simple weapons or short swords. They can also be reflavored to other things, but yeah. So for those monk weapons and those unarmed strikes, you can use dexterity or strength for your attack and damage modifiers. You can also roll a d4 in place of the normal damage that an unarmed strike would do, and this d4 will grow as you level, eventually reaching a d10. Also, if you're using a monk weapon and your martial arts die is higher than the damage die that you would normally use for that weapon, you can use your martial arts die in place of that other dice. And if you use your monk weapon or an unarmed strike as a part of your attack action, you can use a bonus action to make an unarmed strike. So right at level 1, you can use a bonus action to make another attack. You also get ki at level 1, and ki is what you use to fuel your features as a monk. And ki is, you're going to be using a lot of ki, but the easiest way to remember is you have as many ki as your level. And you get a couple of features you can use your ki on right from the get-go, like your flurry of blows, which will allow you to do 2 unarmed strikes as a bonus action after you take an attack action. Or you can use your patient defense, which will allow you to use a dodge action as a bonus action, which will give everybody disadvantage to hit you until your next turn. And you can also use your ki for Step of the Wind, which will allow you to take a disengage or a dash action as a bonus action as well. So you always have something to do with your bonus action, whether that's protecting yourself or doing a little bit of extra damage. Eventually, at 5th level, you get extra attack, which will allow you to take 2 attacks during your attack action. And you will also get stunning strike at 5th level, which will allow you to hit a creature and then try and stun them until your next turn. And a stunned creature cannot take actions, reactions, or move. They also automatically fail their strength and dexterity saving throws, and any attack against them has advantage. So the monk does not have as much HP as other martial classes in this game, so it is important to focus on your defense as you play as a monk. So obviously you should always take your attack action to do a little bit of damage, but make sure you use that bonus action to try and prioritize your defense. So at early levels, just take attacks and then use patient defense so that people will have disadvantage to hit you. And once you get to 5th level, you can use your stunning strike with one of your attacks, and if it works, you don't have to use that patient defense because the creature you're fighting isn't going to be moving, and everybody else you're fighting with will get advantage to hit that creature anyway. And don't forget, they can't take reactions if that stun works. So you can just walk away from them and you don't have to worry about opportunity attacks. And an opportunity attack is where you try to leave somebody's range and they can use the reaction to try and hit you. Also, if the stun works, you have advantage on your attacks, so why not use a flurry of blows to get 2 more attacks with your bonus action? Also, if you have something special you can do with your subclass that involves a strength saving throw or a dexterity saving throw, now is the perfect time to use it because they will automatically fail those saving throws. But if the stun doesn't work, just go ahead and use that patient defense so they have disadvantage to hit you. So yeah, your game plan during combat is to attack with your action and use your bonus action for defense, right? So before 5th level, that is going to be an attack, and then using patient defense. Once you hit 5th level, try and stun the creature. If you stun them, you can use flurry of blows. If you do not stun them, you can use patient defense again. And don't forget, when a creature is stunned, anything that attacks it gets advantage against it. So pay attention to other people during the round, and if they try and attack a stunned creature, you can remind them they get advantage on that attack. Or if a spell gets cast on them and it's a dexterity or strength saving throw, they automatically fail it. So just keep that in mind for everyone else. Now let's talk about the monk outside of combat. I think this can be summed up pretty easily. Monks are very good at anything that you can do that is athletic, that isn't lifting. Right from the get-go, you get Step of the Wind, which gives you another dash action that you can use during your turn, so you can already move way further than other people. You also get Unarmored Movements, which is going to add 10 to your walking speed, so you're already going to walk faster anyway. So if you have any type of chase scene, you're going to be good at that. Eventually, with your Unarmored Movements, you're going to be able to walk on water and run up walls. So now you can add climbing or running across water to that. Also, you get the Slow Fall ability, which is going to reduce the amount of damage you take from fall damage. So if you ever fall into a pit or fall into some trap that is a falling trap, you can reduce the damage from that. Not to mention the monk gets a lot of defensive features as they grow in level. At level 7, you get Evasion, which makes it so that when an effect happens to you that makes you make a dexterity saving throw, if you pass that dexterity saving throw, you, instead of taking half damage, you take no damage. At level 10, you just become immune to disease and poison. And we've already talked a lot about patient defense, but patient defense makes it so that people have disadvantage to hit you. What I'm trying to say is the monk has a lot of tools and defensive features they can use, so at those later levels, you can just run ahead of your group, kind of go check things out and run back because your speed is so fast anyway. So why not run ahead, go check out what's going on, and if anything's really bad, you can just run away again, come back and tell your group, and then you can deal with it or come up with a plan on how to deal with those things. And honestly, you probably never have to be put in danger if you're scouting ahead or exploring because you have so much movement and you don't even have to put yourself in that situation because you can use Step of the Wind as a dash action and you have more movement anyway. Also, at level 13, you can understand any language and any creature that speaks a language can understand you. So if you ever have to play interpreter, you also have that ability. So your game plan outside of combat is to use your athleticism. Go ahead and use that superior speed to gain insight onto what's going on or just scout ahead of your party. If there does happen to be a trap or something, you have a lot of defensive features that are going to help you avoid any type of damage or reduce the type of damage that you could take from those situations. So a good way to look at it is if there's something out of reach, you're probably going to be a go-to to get it if a spellcaster can't do so. That being said, the monk is extremely rewarding to play. Being able to use the features that pop up for this class will surprise everyone. There's nothing more fun than landing a stunning strike and everybody being able to get advantage. So yeah, use that stunning strike, punch away, and don't be afraid to use that key. Thanks for watching. If there's anything I missed, go ahead and throw that down in the comments. Like, subscribe, and yeah, D&D is dope.